Aha! Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, is it worth it to buy a Commander 2015 pre-constructed deck? This fourth iteration of Commander product presents us with dual-colored legendary creature commanders, and aims to correct some of the problems of the past, namely the great power and financial imbalance of previous decks. But are these decks worth it to players looking to begin playing Commander? Are they of interest to experienced Commander players? Do they contain needed reprints? New and interesting cards? What about if we just look at them financially? Are they worth it then? Let's take a look. Despite the popularity of previous Commander products, they have had a host of problems. Many sets were imbalanced, not only in terms of power, but also in terms of contents, making some sell out, while others were left unwanted on the shelves. In the original Commander products, legacy-relevant cards such as Flusterstorm and Scavenging Ooze made Counterpunch and Political Puppets not only disappear from shelves, but also drove the prices on these through the roof. Although the print run was dramatically increased, the same effect occurred with the next Commander product, where True Name Nemesis, again because of legacy, caused the Mind Seize deck to disappear from shelves and affect a price tag of over $50. Meanwhile, today on Amazon, you can have the Mind Seize Commander deck delivered to your door for $20. Look, here it is right now, delivered to your door for $20. More on that in a bit. Is this an issue with the Commander 2015 sets? As of the filming of this video, no. While it can be argued about power levels within the Commander decks when played against each other, none contain format necessities for legacy, meaning that you should be able to get the Commander deck you want for MSRP. So that's a positive. But does this mean there aren't any cards of value within the decks? As I've said many times before, the vast majority of those cards are worth less than $1 or $2. That being said, it's still 100 cards, and even at values less than $2, even at values less than $1, that adds up. If you were to buy the singles for these decks on TCG Player, the total cost for each deck, not including shipping, would be: Call the Spirits would cost you $75.89. Seize Control would cost you $48.56, and it contains only 6 cards worth more than $2 each. Plunder the Graves would cost you $55.59, and it contains only 7 cards worth more than $2 each. Wade into Battle would cost you $79.88, and it contains only 8 cards worth more than $2 each. Swell the Host would cost you $49.67, and it contains only 8 cards worth more than $2 each. So, financially, Wade into Battle and Call the Spirits are somewhat more valuable financially than the other 3. The number 1 card of value in all of these is Blade of the Selves from the Boros deck, currently climbing up towards a whopping $14 due to its potentially broken nature for Commander. Now, this is not having any relevance in Legacy, and that's what's kept Boros from being the set to sell off the shelves this year. But if it does eventually happen, Blade of Selves is probably why. That being said, there's other value to be had within each deck. The Commanders are carrying price tags of a couple of bucks each, if for no other reason than that the only place they can be obtained right now is through one of these decks. But there's also the newly printed Confluence cycle of command-like cards. In each deck, one of 5 of these confluences is included. Now, these are incredibly similar to the Lorwyn and Tarkir commands. They have many modes available, and however, the twist here is that you can choose the same mode more than once. For Commander, this is getting into the territory of auto-include for most decks. It's certainly very close. These Confluence command-like cards are super powerful, they're flexible, and if not included in each Commander deck that runs their colors, then certainly they are heavy contenders for that inclusion. In addition, some modest value older cards have been reprinted. Cards such as Black Market, Eldrazi Monument, High Market, Karmic Justice, and Urza's Incubator Incubator were all moderately priced Commander cards that benefit greatly from these reprints. And while these are nothing to get too excited about, they are potent cards and needed reprints, and their inclusion is most welcome. So there's some nice pieces inside these decks. Nothing out of control, except of course for Blade of Selves, although all we need is for one or two of those confluences to explode in popularity to change all this. And at an MSRP of about $30 to $35, you're getting more than your money's worth, even if it is mostly bulk Commander cards. But that's where another pro can actually be found. Last year, the Commander precons were mono-colored, and this created a lot of problems in terms of future upgrades of those decks. This year, being in two colors opens up a plethora of opportunities for both future upgrades as well as simply one day utilizing parts from these in other decks. You can use the mana fixing that is included. You can bring in twice as many cards from your own collection as with the mono-colored, and this helps their value dramatically. More than anything, I want to stress that this year's Commander decks are all sufficiently powerful EDH decks, and that you should have no fear of buying the underpowered one, nor is there an overwhelmingly overpowered one. If you are looking to get into Commander, or just interested in expanding your Commander collection with one of these pre-constructed decks, then go with whichever deck interests you the most. And I really want to stress this. The determination on which of these 5 decks to get lies with you. Get the one with the Commander or strategy or colors or whatever that interests you most. But look here, the 2013 Commander decks were printed so heavily in order to compensate for the high demand for Mind Seize that you can buy these today on Amazon for $20 delivered to your door. And many local game stores have these discounted to similar prices as well. Old inventory in this case needs to be cleared out. And so that's my biggest recommendation for anyone who does not already have the 2013 Commander decks, especially new players looking to start in the format. Don't view this as a set of 5. View it as a set of 15. Yes, 15, as the monocolored ones from last year are also available at these low prices. But the multicolored 2013 decks are far superior. And at $20 each, it's my top pick, especially with the holidays coming up. Got a friend who's not into Commander but you'd like them to be? Go look at those $20 2013 decks. Final conclusion, as always, this is of the most value to someone new to the format, especially someone who does not currently have a Commander deck. These become less and less valuable to those already in the format, but as long as these decks, or enough of their pieces, are going to be used by these players, then it is not a purchase those players will regret. Grade? If you're an experienced Commander player, these are still an impressive B+, and you're likely going to have no regrets picking at least one of these up for yourself. If you are brand new to the format, these are an A-. Grab whichever one interests you the most. There's no wrong answer here. However, buying one of the 2013 Commander decks for $20? That's a solid A. You can practically buy 2 of these for the price of one of these new Commander decks. And I have a feeling next year, and maybe even the one after that, the same will be said for these Commander decks. I suppose we'll just have to wait and find out. In the meantime, I hope this video has been of some help to you.
Look at these new commanders and think, I'm going to put them in an existing deck that I already have and kind of make something out of that, or you're like, no, I'm building a new deck, this is my crack, give it to me.
And I'm going to name some cards you might not know, but last year I had a mono-black commander deck with Kuon Ogre Ascendant from Champions of Kamigawa. He's an ogre. He's one of the flip cards, and if he's like a 2/4 or something, and if 3 creatures die, he turns into an enchantment that causes everyone to sacrifice a creature at the beginning of their upkeep.